Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Breadcrumbs. My name is Reginald Grant. I want to appreciate you taking your time out to tune into my channel. And today I'm going to share some short dreams that I've had recently. And I'm going to talk about comments that one of my subscribers had about the content of my channel. And then I'm going to talk about a case that I've been following over the years and what steps that I'm going to take and what my thoughts and opinion are is about the case. All right, so first of all, I had a subscriber who basically said that they thought that the content of my channel was weird and it didn't make any sense. Although I appreciate and welcome any comments and feedback and even constructive criticism, my content isn't necessarily meant to make any logical sense. When I began having these dreams about the age of 20, they were weird, didn't make any sense, and a little unsettling. But as the years have gone on, they have begun to, make a little sense. I started understanding them, and they've helped me develop, grow, mature, and evolve as a person. So, with that being said, my content isn't for everyone. It's definitely not for, maybe, you know, under 18 years of age. But they are what they are, and I basically just say what I've seen and heard, and to some degree, yes, I understand them, and sometimes I'll share what I understand and give my opinion as to what I think they mean, but sometimes they may have no meaning at all. They may serve a purpose. Someone in the audience may hear it and it may make sense to them, or it may be some type of revelation for them, because I know it has been for me, and hopefully, if that does, and it happens to enlighten someone's or give someone some understanding or purpose in their life, and that will have been part of the reason I do it. So let's get right into my a couple of short dreams that I've had, and basically, I didn't quote unquote see anything in this particular dream. I just heard some phrases and words, and that was the sum of it, the gist of it. So one of the things that I've heard in my dream was, "He changed my life." Now, there's no specific person or name attached to it that I understand or know of at this particular point, but that's just a phrase of many that I've heard, and therefore I just sharing it on my channel. Now, again, I said I believe sometimes the things that I hear and see may serve a purpose in someone's life and may enlighten them or provide some type of revelation and understanding to them. It may or may not, because I know it has for me over the years, and therefore I don't really try to figure everything else. I try to let it soak in, and over time, I hope to understand it and use it for in my life to help me to continue to grow, and hopefully it'll help someone else as well. And another thing, that phrase that I heard in a dream recently was, I was getting them together. Now, again, no particular reason as to what that means at this point, but that's what I've heard. And sometimes when I have to hear phrases and so on and so forth, there's nothing visual that I see or may accompany what those particular phrases are related to, or who specifically said them. So, if you haven't, seen previous episodes, sometimes they come in like pieces of a puzzle over time, and sometimes I have to put them together for them to make any sense or have an understanding as to how it applies to a circumstance or situation or person or relationship. So those were a couple of things that I've seen. And another thing was I heard was I was closing her womb. Now, sometimes when it says I, it doesn't necessarily mean me. I can sometimes be it could be like an idea, or it could be something like a way of thinking or a way of perceiving certain things. And that's sometimes when I hear in my dreams certain words and certain phrases, that's how I've come to understand when I hear them, and there's nothing else associated with them per se. All right, moving along. I have been following and have spoken in one of my episodes about the case of the Fort Worth Missing Trio. And the Fort Worth Missing Trio is about the disappearance of three young teenage Fort Worth girls back in 1974. And they went missing from a mall, specifically a Seminary South Mall in South Fort Worth in December of 1974. Now, these three young ladies' names were Lisa Wilson, Julie Mosley, and Mary Trlica. Her last name was spelled Trlica. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. They were all basically under the age of 18. I think one was 17, and she was married, and I believe that was Mary. Then there was Julie Mosley, and she was like, I think she was really young. She was like 12 or 14 years old. Sorry, I don't have the specifics with me right now, but when I do another follow-up, I'll get the specific ages. But I think Mary Trlica was 17. She was married. Julie Mosley was, I think, 11 or 12. And Lisa Wilson was about 14, 15 years old. But nonetheless, these young ladies went shopping at the Seminary South Mall back in December of 1994. They went missing from the mall, and they haven't been seen since. Now, once the parents became aware that they haven't returned home from the shopping trip, they contacted the police, and eventually their car, which was a 1972 Buick, I believe it was found at the mall in the parking lot. And from what I've gathered from what I've read from the news stories and so on and so forth, there was no real evidence found in or around the car, and to date, I guess there was no real credible witnesses that has come forward. And there have been a lot of sightings over the years, but nothing concrete to lead them to the girls, obviously. And so I have put in a request to the Fort Worth Tarrant County Police Department or the DA's office, requesting some information through Open Records Act, such as family information, and were there any after-school activities such as a band, sports, or anything like that? And of course, I've requested any police reports, witness statements, and what have you. Now, certain information, of course, personal information isn't going to be part of the open request, but I'm going to follow up, and I may put in a call or go and visit the DA's office, because I've always believed that these girls were taken by someone who knew them or who was known by them, and that they weren't there were some theories that they were taken far off and so on and so forth. But I think that they were taken by someone that they were known or who knew them, and that they weren't taken very far from either where they lived or from the mall, because this was Christmas time, and it's also daytime. So, and of course, this is 1974, not 2024, and the criminal mind was a little different, and such so also was um, uh, policing at that time. Of course, they never, according to what I understand, there was no dusting of for fingerprints or anything like that. No, there were no cell phones during that time, so there's no way to track them through the cell service. But anyway, I've put in a request for records, for information, and I'll see what I get back, and then I'll follow up with you at that time. But I'm going to follow through with this because something about this case, about a dream that I had years ago, 50, 20, 25 years ago, has always stuck with me, and I've always, kept a, um, I would think about it from time to time. And something recently sort of came to my awareness or to my mind about uh, that may be related to this case. So I'm going to follow through with it, and maybe talk to the DA's office or a detective and so on and so forth. And of course, I'll let you know if anything materializes from that. But I'm pretty sure eventually this case will be solved. So that ends this particular episode of Breadcrumbs. And again, I appreciate any feedback, comments, questions, or concerns. And if you have an opinion about some of the contents that I've done or some of the cases that I've talked about, please feel free to email me at dalreggie@outlook.com. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. So until next time, I want to appreciate you tuning in, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time.